We seek refuge in God from the accursed Satan, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, with another class on emotional intelligence, class number 39. The role of emotional intelligence in success in leadership. Leaders who have well-developed emotional intelligence and self-awareness always succeed. This means that in the most difficult moments, during times of loss of material things, they will also succeed because they know how to turn a failure into success. Of course, everyone says that is a failure. They will turn it into a success. So, a good leader will never fail, even if it seems like a loss or a waste. This means that they will also turn it into an opportunity. All failures are opportunities, as long as you can control your negative emotions. When a person allows themselves to be guided by negative emotions, that person becomes demoralized, feels disappointed, loses enthusiasm, loses motivation. That person is doomed to the second failure, which is worse, which is to feel the failure. Once failure is in the real world, you have lost something, you have not reached your goal, you have not achieved your target. This is quite clear, but feeling the failure is another thing. Allowing yourself to feel like a failure, allowing yourself to become a failure, allowing the thought that you are a failure to enter your mind. This in the life of a leader says, well, we have had an experience, what we call failure, a new experience that gives us a lot to understand our flaws, which we will take into account in the next effort. So thanks to God, we have had a new experience. Well, this is how we can conclude. A good leader is someone who can control their negative and positive emotions. She is a strong person. It is true that strong people also have the strongest emotions, but they are controlled. When they love someone, they express it in such a kind and affectionate way that it will influence others. When people feel loved, they will perform better, work harder, and be more loyal. You see? So at work, they will be better. A good leader, often referred to as a likable leader, is one who has courage, even though they have very strong emotions and feelings, but they keep them under control. Emotions are not bad things, but they are strong inner energies in human beings, as long as they are controlled. When you leave it as nuclear energy, it will become a nuclear bomb. It will destroy your life. For example, when you put gasoline, petrol, or fuel into the fuel tank of a car, then in a well-controlled system, it will convert into movement, propel the car, and take it to its destination. As soon as you pour that fuel over the car, it will burn and turn into an explosion. It kills, destroys, and burns. Emotions are like that in our lives. So a good leader already knows how to understand themselves, knows their emotions, knows their strong emotions, has learned, it is a practice, has learned how to control themselves and others. And that is very important. That leader already knows how to tame their own emotions, how to tame the emotions of others. They have learned how to manage. I wouldn't call it manipulating. I would call it managing the emotions of others, because they are doing it in a correct way. Well, then a leader who takes the initiative knows how to emotionally promote their followers, their employees, and knows how to motivate them well. When disappointed by a failure, that leader knows how to turn the failure into a driving force that motivates their employees. One of the important things we must understand here is, look, brother, a leader who is strong and has well-developed emotional intelligence does not allow others to manipulate them emotionally. For example, his secretary cannot walk in front of him half naked to provoke her, to provoke this person, yes, to provoke that director, that manager, who later receives their interests, higher salary, bribes, permits, etc. So a good director, a good leader, a good teacher does not allow, for example, girls to provoke him. No, none of that. The first day you allow your lustful eye to receive those images, I would call them images of curse, because they will curse your life, provoking negative emotions of lust that will lead you to certain ruin. So, the men of God who have the most developed emotional intelligence have already learned to control themselves. No one can make them angry. You go in front of them, start insulting. That person will respond to you with a smile, saying, "Well, son, if what you say is true, may God forgive me. If what you say is incorrect, may God forgive you. Thank you very much for your words. May God bless you." So, imagine, you go in front of him, you start doing everything possible to provoke, but you can't do it. If you are going to admire him, flatter him, it doesn't matter to him. It doesn't matter to him. He won't be happy, content. Oh, very well, they are flattering me. Nothing. So that leader does not allow sycophants and flatterers to be around them. So, if you want to understand and discern between a failed leader or one who is going to fail soon and a strong leader who will succeed, we can outline the points of success one after another. Always look at the people around them. If they have people who provoke them, if they have their secretary half naked, or if they have employees who always flatter them, and when you criticize them, they get angry. That person is going to fail. They are not a good leader. But on the contrary, when you place a commander, you place a leader, and that leader is so strong and stable that no one can provoke them, neither negatively nor positively. They cannot make them happy, nor can they make them angry. They are already stable. They have strong emotions, but they are controlled. It does not allow you to tame their emotions. It does not allow you to use their emotion. The person who indeed allows their emotions to be used will themselves be used. There are examples of such people in history, like Malik Ashtar, the commander of Imam Ali. Imam Ali appointed Malik as the commander of his army in wars and battles. Thus, Mawalik ibn Hashtag had that character. In a narration, it says that Malik was so brave, such a stable and strong person, that if on a dark night in a desert alone he were walking and accidentally stepped on a female dog. Imagine a female dog that has her puppies, a very wild dog. Do you understand? But Molek says, step on that bitch, and the bitch starts barking, screaming. Molek won't even blink an eye. And so it goes on. We will die. If we reach that desert in solitude, in darkness, we will step on a dog that has her puppies around her, and the dog starts barking, I don't know how to bite, and all of us escape. But speaking of being in this strong situation, it's going to make me blink my eye. That is the character of a good leader. And when a young person approaches Malik in the bazaar, in the market, and throws trash in his face, on his body, out of envy, out of ignorance, there are young people like that who mock everything. Let's mock that which is the character of the people of hell, mock the others. So that young man was already throwing that away, the trash, because Molichev Nasdaq, although he was a commander of the army, dressed very modestly. 2009, that was the life of Muwale AS and his people. So everyone already knew Mawalik. That ignorant young man did not know him. Then Mawalik said nothing and went to the mosque. But the people around him were scared. Young man, don't you know what you've done? What happened? They were mocking an old man. No, he is not an old man. He is the commander of the Mamalik army, 2001, and a scared young man. They are going to hang me today. Goodbye. They are going to kill me. So scared, looking for Malik. Where is Malik? He saw that he was in the mosque, went to the mosque trembling, scared about what would happen to him for having disrespected a commander of the army. Then he saw that Malik was praying. When Malik finished praying, the young man said, I want to apologize. The truth is, I didn't know you were such a person. Malik ibn Ashtar. I went to pray asking God to forgive you. I knew you did it out of ignorance. But young man, it is not right to mock others. He then began to explain things so that the young man could understand in an educational way. 2001 leaders do not get emotional, nor allow their emotions to be managed by others. They know how to self-control, to control their emotions. And when a problem arises, if you have failed, made a mistake, or have a flaw, they do not come to unload their anger. They do not allow their emotions to be used by interested parties. A good leader, who is truly a believer and not a hypocrite, has learned to contain their lust and ambition. They have suppressed and eliminated these negative emotions, purifying themselves. They know how to manage themselves and do not allow lust to take control. Unfortunately, nowadays, how many leaders in the world will let a girl distract them, and just like that, they are lost. They will have a girl around them, and that's it. Everything is lost. In the Bible, there are so many stories about that. You will read the story of Judith, a commander of the Roman army who got lost and was beheaded by a Jewish woman. Imagine, this has happened many times. In history, and intelligence services always use these methods, but that works on weak, lost people, those who do not have faith. A person who has learned throughout their life to obey God and to say no to their passions, to their carnal desires, that person can already be a good leader. But a person who has always followed their interests, desires, lust, ambition, and greed, this person is weak. In Islam, it is said that if you want to appoint a leader, the supreme leader must be pious, must be mutagi, a person who has piety, a person who fears God, a person who practices God's commandments. Throughout their life, they have learned to be a good leader because their emotions will not deceive them or control them. So we in the Islamic root of Iran have, for example, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei, a leader who is pious and has a character of piety. On the other side of the world, you will see a lustful young man, corrupt like bin Salman, the kings of Saudi Arabia, and you see them. They are weak, they get scared, they are manipulated, they get emotional. Greed and ambition will lead their government and their country to certain ruin. We ask the Most High to help us be true believers, that we may develop it in our emotional intelligence to control our negative emotions. May God bless you. You can indeed be a good individual who leads, but with faith and truly, faith 2001.